All right. Folks, if you can see little TJBot here, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you can see TJBot. Let me show. Maybe it's not showing. That's why not. Raise your hand if you can see it. All right, great. We're getting some people up here telling me they can see it. All right. Thursday nights, our last lab for Thursday night people, last lab of the summer of the year. Hang on. Sorry, a little bit of interruption there. So Thursday will be it. Well, you've been making infinity mirror. You're going to make dice towers. All right. So it'll be a good time. So with that in mind, tonight's going to be a day of really installing, and Tom DeToy is going to help you get it working. And we'll show you what you can do with this TJ Watson. And here's our little TJ Watson bot. Now, here's instructables have to set it up, but here are the featured recipes. So here's all the different things you can do with Watson and going on there. Build a TJBot that gives you to converse, understand your emotional tones. Again, it looks at Twitter and changes the colors based on Twitter sentiment. A weather report, telling time, news reports, all these different things you can do with TJBot driving around in a car. That's kind of funny, actually. But all I'm going to know is what we're going to show you is just the start of it. And if you get into this big time, like it's figuring out what different things are. You know, this is wild to me. And this has all been coming on board just the last little bit. All right. And so this is doctors and patients with TJ Watson, Doxer and Watt. And then you have the TJ Wave where the arm goes off, servo arm. So I guess all I'm trying to say is what we're going to show is a little piece of it. If you get into it, keep looking in. I'd be really curious whatever stuff you come up with this. I want to look at TJ Watts on some more machine learning stuff. I'm kind of getting very interested in that. So we have it. But right now, if you look, let me see if I can I'm going to give you another handout to have while we're doing this tonight. If you look under handouts, put it there. Use your voice to control lights with Watson. Go ahead and download it. Raise your hand once you've downloaded it. That way you can have this as we get going tonight. Also, once you're downloading that, go ahead, hook up your Raspberry Pi. Get it on the internet. All right. And you can start doing that now as well. So raise your hand once you've downloaded. Use your voice to go like with Watson PDF. So you have that, and you've got your Raspberry Pi working. Raise your hands once you have it. Okay, so I have 2 people right now. Just let me know once you've got it, guys. I'm just looking at these. TJF Swift Playground. That looks interesting. I'm going to use this. Swift. Anybody been using Swift? Hey guys, I only have, let me see how many people we got here now. I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people out of 13, 12, I should say. So the rest of you raise your, if for some reason you know you cannot possibly do those two things, then just go ahead and raise your hand so we're not waiting for you the whole time. John Mark, I hope you can get this. Joshua, I hope you can get this. Harry, get this. We're going to get started here in a moment. All right. Once you've got that handout to look on your computer in case you get lost, you also have your Raspberry Pi running. Okay. So first things first, you're going to go into, these are the things you need. The Raspberry Pi 3, mini USB microphone, NeoPixel, female to female, TJBot, which we gave you those things. All right. So we have all this hardware. Now, what I want you to do is go to Instructables, then go to, excuse me. Now I want you to go onto your Raspberry Pi. I want you to go ahead, go on the little world globe, the internet on the Raspberry Pi, and search Instructables TJBot voice control. Basically bring this up on your Raspberry Pi because we're going to copy, I want to copy this code onto your Raspberry Pi. Don't type it, it's where I think it works better. It's really easy. Linux is very unforgiving. So you might as well get that. All right. So I'm going to put everybody's hands down. Go ahead on your Raspberry Pi, bring this very same thing up. And then you're going to open Terminal and paste that into Terminal. Terminal is, I had it up here earlier, I'll bring it up again. All right. It looks like this on your Raspberry Pi. That's Terminal. It looks like this little thing. All right. When you have Terminal up, you're going to click here on it, highlight it, and then right-click with your Raspberry Pi mouse and copy it, and then right-click inside a Terminal and paste it, and then press Enter, and it'll start installing. This takes a good while to do. Let me know once the installation on your Raspberry Pi started. Once it starts up, raise your hand so I know in feed we're getting indeed installed. All right, so I got a couple people who said, hey, I've got mine installed on my Raspberry Pi. That's great. It is going to take a while. I hope everybody who did make the dice towers Saturday are gluing them. I hope they ended up finishing them. All right, please, everybody keep dropping in your Raspberry Pi and start the installation. Once I know everybody's going there, I'm going to lecture on a couple other things while it's running in the background, but that's the real goal tonight. Just get this set up, and then Time to Toy will help you finish it. Good. Excellent. How are we doing there, Abigail, Hannah, Joshua, Levi, Teo? What are we doing, folks? Just leave your hands up. Don't take them down. I have no way of knowing if you got it. All right. We got a couple more. Let me know if there's a problem. Let me go into questions. That's probably where I'm messing up here. Let me look. Okay, guys. All right. Sorry, did I miss anything? Now, Philip, we're just installing it. Do we download that to our Raspberry Pi? Yes. What are we downloading? We're starting up our Raspberry Pi, then you're going to take this link and copy it over. You're just going to take this and paste it in the terminal and press enter. It will go out and do it for you. All right. Levi, did you miss anything? Yes, we started. Go on your Raspberry Pi, start up TJBot. Go to the Instructable, TJBot, use voice control. And then as you go down the bottom of this, you're going to take this link, install package. This is going to be on your Raspberry Pi. So you're in the browser in the Raspberry Pi. You're going to right click on this. You highlight these words, right click on it, and then hit copy, and then open the terminal on the Raspberry Pi, paste it, and press enter. Can't find mic. I don't know what you did with your mic. Should we disable? No. What are we downloading? Hannah, I hope that makes sense now. You're not downloading. You're copying this. You're dropping in the terminal. The Raspberry Pi is going to update itself. It takes a while. You're just copying this code right here. Make sure you got all the word on it and drop it in there. Okay. Well, download time, you mean update time? I'm not sure about download, so just bear with it. Might be a little bit slow with me talking. Levi, do you know what you're supposed to be doing now? Go ahead and do it, guys. We got to get through this so you have it. The good news, once you've updated it, you won't have to do this again for a while. This is making it so it can run TJBot and everything. You understand it? Great. Let me know. Raise your hand. Your Raspberry Pi should suddenly start going through this whole installation process. Just raise your hand. Let me know that by raising your hand. And I'll keep looking at questions here too. Also, if you joined us late, I have a handout. Use your voice to control Light with Watson. So that way you can download it. I've gotten this off Instructables. Okay, Harry, are you installing it? Joshua, Mateo. Mateo, I haven't even heard you. What's going on, buddy? Can't find mice. Don't worry about finding your mic right now. I'm not sure what you did with it, but let's get the rest of this together. Got it, good. Well, that's going to be a bit of a problem. No. Levi says, asking a question about disabling LPV, say no. Tell it it's okay to use Google. Go with all the default settings, Levi. What do we do when asked, would you like to use this Raspberry Pi for TJBot? You say yes. Go to the default. I named mine Raspberry Pi. I kept it the same thing. They're going to ask, they might ask you to name what it's going to be. I kept mine Raspberry Pi. Just hit enter. It went with that default. Default means that's just what the normal choice is. Usually they ask you what you want you to do, and you just hit default. And in this case, it's probably is. If it doesn't get completed with Mr. DeToy Wednesday night, that's our schedule, we'll record an hour to make sure it works and give you the step-by-steps on this. Four minutes left, Jay. Yes, you should answer. No, you don't disable IPv6. Yes. I'll go ahead and proceed with the upgrades, Joshua. Harry, do you disable IPv6? No. All right, while that's running, get your parents' permission before you do this, but I'm going to enroll you to IBM Watson Cloud. Now, I'm already here, so I'm going to log out. So, if you go to, I'm going to give you the console. This is where you're going to go. While your Raspberry Pi is doing this, at this point, you're going to set up your membership on IBM's cloud. I'm going to go ahead and send this to all of you off your PC or Mac, whichever you're watching this. I just sent it. You should get there. You're going to create a free account. They're going to tell you, ask your parents' permission to do this. Don't buy anything. But repeat, you don't need to buy anything. But we're going to create a free account, which gets us into IBM's cloud services and, frankly, their AI, their artificial intelligence, and their machine learning and deep learning, which is amazing. You guys have all this stuff at your hands. What about the Google? Go ahead. You can accept that. Levi. That's fine. So we do this on our computers or iPod. You're going to create your account on your PC, though you are going to access from your Pi later. Get the latest 7, the latest version. Yeah, you gotta go early. I understand, Laura. We're gonna really, this is really it, Laura. All we're doing is installing. You're gonna create that cloud. We're installing our Pi. Mr. DeToy will walk you through it. Frankly, we're just installing on a Raspberry Pi. Let your Raspberry Pi keep running. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and log in here just to show you, because I've done it here a couple times. Here's my account. Log in. And here you can see my dashboard. It's coming up. I'm going out in the cloud, so it takes it a minute. Here's my speech, which is interesting. Then let's go to speech to text. Waiting for a console to pop up. Then they have different examples. What it does is, this is like Alexa type stuff where I can say something, I can get something that I have to reach it. All right. So if you go in here in the catalog, I already have that. That's what you're going for. But there's all this stuff, cloud business stuff they have on this that you now have it. Data analytics, data science, all kinds of manage and analyze data, run notebooks, data science experiments, analytic engines, machine learning. I want to look at this. Which amazes me. If you wanted to go together and start looking at machine learning, you could. Then look out here at Watson. There's all these different Watson. Translation, tone analyzer. I'm not sure what that. Personality insights. I'm not sure that's so great. These conversation things are where these chat bots go. You know how a lot of programs will have, hey, chat, ask us a question. And then you'll think you're talking to a person when it's actually API. Okay, let me see what people are saying here. I gotta Levi, I'm not sure what we're supposed to. Joshua, 6 or mine. Did I leave the pass card at the Power Lab? I have no idea, Mateo. It's just a 5-volt battery like you use for charging your phone, man. I'm not sure why you would have brought it in. I'm trying to get you to see, though, you have all these sources, which is amazing to me, that you have these free resources to teach yourself if you want to. I've already created one. I'm not sure it's going to let me create a second one, but let's see. Or maybe because I didn't save it, I didn't pull it up. Let's see. And you can only have one instance or plan for service. Let me go view all. My dashboard. You can go under services, then you create a project. And that's projects is what you're going to do on this. Mine is probably, I'm going to go back and see how I can find different projects there in it, because this is really where, what you're going to do then later, I should say, is you're going to log in, you're going to create your project, then you're going to Watson, you select text to speech, you add that service. I'm going to get an error message because then this will come up, excuse me, project details, go with the default, you hit create project. I'm going to get an error message because I created a project earlier. I've got to go back through and delete both things and create it. A little strange that way. Which version of Node.js, the most current 7? Should we, this sound kernel module? I said no, because the way I read it, it seemed to me like, well, I'm not using HDMI, so I said no. I may be wrong. I don't understand which programming. I'm still creating a comment. I understand that, Levi. What programmable language? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Let me go back. I'm going to go to my, get rid of my stuff here. Let me see if I got projects in here. So that's the only one thing I'm still looking with this. Create a new project, but it doesn't allow me. Okay, here's projects. Maybe my project will be there. I'm waiting to see. Here we go. Yep, here's my project. Text to speech. That's what you're going to make. Let's see what it says here. Rename, delete project. No, man. There it is. And what we're going to do is you're going to download a code that we can then access. What do they call credentials? It's really basically making APIs to work over here. When you go over here, once you get your Raspberry Pi installed, then you're going to, off the terminal, drop that in there, which is going to put this instructions. Here's the credentials on IBM Watson. Update some stuff, run the code, and you'll be good to go. But right now, you just got to get everything installed tonight. Well, the sound kernel is not an ELED. You can reactivate later. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Well, that's because that was the very top of that. Levi, when you logged into this, IBM Cloud, it showed you the complete catalog, right? So up here, it's one thing, it starts up at the top. It just shows a bunch of programming languages and things. This one doesn't, but it does. That's why I never really get terribly concerned what language we're using. I like to use different ones just so people realize. And there's certainly languages that are better at certain things than other things. But one, there's always going to be new and better languages. Two, logic is logic. Now, I've said that. I think neural learning, machine learning is different programming than we're used to. I would say traditional, then you have icon-based, and then you have like MATLAB, which is different. And then you got machine learning, which is real different, but pretty cool. See if we got any other questions here. I say it takes a while to get this whole thing installed. So while you can be waiting, go ahead and log into IBM Cloud, get that. That's all at that point. That's all you have to do is be able to log in, log out. And then down the Raspberry Pi, we'll access it from there. I said no. I didn't disable my sound kernel, Joshua. If you did, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. We'll find out because all we're not playing sound. We're not really playing music out of it anyways. You can reset it later. Anyway, I can download the setup, update the download after the setup. I'm sure there is. Hang on, let me take a quick look on my Raspberry Pi. Like, already, you can do things with the audio. There's a config sys file I'll go back and look at. Yeah, you can change things once you have it. And remember, what's the worst thing you do? Go ahead and reinstall the operating system. Do it again. And there's a preference section. You can change it. And if you go down to the preference section, they have a Raspberry Pi interface. Just click on the Raspberry. It'll give you all the different things on there. And I used to always use the config setup command, and you can look that up on there. You can research that and find them pretty quickly. I just got mine to work. What app do I apply first? What do you mean I got mine to work? Your Raspberry Pi's rebooted back up, or do you got the IBM Cloud ready to roll? I'm not sure what we're talking about. What do you mean, Hannah? I just got mine to work. What do you mean by I just got mine to work? Okay, I wouldn't open the page on the Pi. Hannah, what? I am confused. When you first click the activation link, it takes you all the circles and different programs. Oh, on the under IBM Cloud? I'm gonna assume that's what she's talking about. Well, Raspberry Pi not happening. That's all you can do, Mattel. You're just stuck there. You've got to get power to your Raspberry Pi for you to be able to. What? I don't know what you're saying. Yes, I'm sorry, Mateo. You're just seeing on the IBM Cloud because I understand you don't have your Raspberry Pi even running. All right, Hannah, are you talking about the IBM Cloud? All right. What I would tell you is don't worry about it today. Just sign up for the service and okay it. I found out when I first got into the service, but what you're really looking is getting down to show you though, you are trying to go into Watson. The very bottom, they have all these choices. And if you can't, go to catalog up here. Go all the way down to Watson and select speech to text. And that's the one we're going to make a project. I already made it my project, so if I go down to, where's my project? See, the user interface in this thing is not all, I'm not super impressed. See, I just found projects there. Now I can find my little projects. I'm going to go to cloud. Here we go. There's speech to text. Text to speech is a different type of thing. And then you can start going in there and looking for projects. They do blockchain on this, if you can believe that or not, which is wild to me. I'm clicking on this. Cloud services waiting for it to pop up. So you really want the text to speech. And then, let me see here. Okay, that's it. I want to add a new credential there. What I want to find is projects out of this. I'll probably end up just deleting mine, but I had it before. I don't know where they went to. Let me see if I can find it. Resource groups. Bear with me one second as I pull this up. I'm trying some different ones to see if I can find it. I don't want that. Resource group. Go to Watson. And this says right over here, Watson, the different plans that I have. Speech to text, text to speech. So I'll tell you what, I'll even delete these. I'll show you what you got to do. I'm going to delete both of mine off. We got to delete I'm going to delete both these servers. See, the cloud's still not keeping up with me. I deleted these services and they're still showing them there. Delete that service, delete. Should leave me with one more. Delete this service. Hit delete. Now I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's almost getting to be that time here. Here we go. This is another question while I'm doing this. Gotcha. All right, so it's going to say, go to catalog. You're going to create a Watson service. We're going to go catalog, go all the way down to Watson. I'm going to do speech to text. I'm about to create it. It'll pull up here. And if you go to services, see now, these are all the different services that go in there. And this is giving you more API control on this. Click on that little blue square, add service. And then here is the project. Here's when you make your projects. And I was trying to find where the old project went. I'm going to create project. I might get an error message because I just had it. I don't know if it's how fast this cloud's updating. There it goes. It's adding the service for me right now. There it is. But you're going to want to add this service when you're on the Raspberry Pi and go in the Watson Cloud. Okay, Levi, I've given you a handout right down there. Use voice to control it, you'll get it. But you're basically going to go into catalog, select Watson, select text to speech, and then click on that. Or you can rewatch part of this webinar on this. But again, catalog. From catalog, select Watson, text to service, and then select text to speech. And you're going to take these credentials, you'll copy them, and you're going to insert them inside your code with your Raspberry Pi. But this is why you're going to want to do this ultimately on your Raspberry Pi. Okay, it's almost about that time. Folks, that your how many people answer if your Raspberry Pi has been installed now? That's all set. I'm going to put everybody's hands up. I want to make sure. Raise your hand if your Raspberry Pi is all installed. Great. Now, if you go in this Instructable, the next thing you're going to do, you installed that package. We made the TJBot. We've got the LEDs. Then what you're going to do is inside in this Instructable on your Raspberry Pi, copy this, highlight it, hit Control, kill one line like that, press return, then change it, then run that. It'll do some things. Then you're going to run your Watson from that. We'll set it up to when we go on Wednesday. Sure, enable the camera. If you ever put it on there, you can put it on there. So again, use this Instructable, get this Instructable running on your Raspberry Pi. Then you're going to use this command. You're going to highlight it, right click it, drop it on the Raspberry Pi, and press enter. You can allow those, Hannah. All right, for most folks, I would just say let it run through, let it finish up the install. You've done that, got the sample code. Time to toil be on Wednesday. You can start playing with your Watson some more. And you also can see what's about to happen next. So, okay? So, all right, folks. Let me see anybody else. You bet. Thank you for class. Levi, because I'm already in there, go ahead. I'll record the video. I'll send it back. But you're going to make a project. Here, I'll try to walk you through it, Levi. Just come here and look at me one last time. You are going to go under catalog. You're going to go all the way down until you hit speech to text under Watson. Click there. Then it's going to ask you, do you wish to create this? You're going to say yes, which it's not going to let me because I've already got one. But if you don't, you say create, then it's going to come up, and then you select, remember those 6 things, select speech to text again, create, enter, and you've got a project. Yeah, just let it run right now, folks. Let it run, let the hardware test run to the end. We'll get to that. Levi, don't even worry about it right now. Once you create it, then you go select it, and then you get to the next step. Levi, let's work on this Wednesday, okay, buddy? Also, if you would, I'll post this video tomorrow, and we'll go over to the top. All right, good night, everybody. You bet. All right, take care, all. Good night.